Hi Scorpio. So I've laid out your cards, and we're going to start with an essential oil. I do that because I'm a kinesiologist, and I find that that's the best way to figure out deeper emotions that you may not be aware of, or energies that need to come to the forefront. And today it's honey myrtle. So that wants to bring in some sort of abundance to you. For when you're feeling a little bit lack, and it's also trying to help generate trust in perhaps the universe, or some sort of meaning, or some sort of just to know that you're kind of not alone, or that you have access to things higher than yourself as well. So in that sense, let's have a look at the cards. So the top row is kind of where the stress is, or what the focus should be, and then we're going to look at how we can sort of clear some of that energy. So the zebra card came up. Now the zebra talks about being almost a creative visionary. Like even a zebra, it looks like they're like the fashion models of the world, right? They've got a beautiful style about them and uniqueness, and they are like eccentric, right? So they're also very delightful to be around, and you have this sense that they just know how to see the delight in the world, and they help us expand our vision of horizons and what's possible in the world, and somehow believe in magic, because they're looking through their third eye all the time. So they're tapped into their endless possibilities of what could be. But when it's out of balance, which is why the card is here today, it's like that you may have lost that vision for yourself. This could be a creative goal. Perhaps you are in a creative world. Maybe it is fashion, maybe it's just artist, or some sort of creative calling that you have that potentially you might not be listening clearly to, or you may have forgot, or you've ignored, or they're just somehow whispers of that new adventure waits. Because I even see some of the cards coming up that it is about a new adventure for you. It's almost like a time or a nudge to remember what those aspirations were, and maybe it's time to pack your bags. I mean, that could be literally or metaphorically, but like there's a new journey ahead for you, and it's asking you to maybe contemplate that a little bit. Because we know that you are kind of in this scarcity energy, and that you may have lost faith in that a little bit. But this card here is trying to also mention the fact that just notice the tiny miracles around you. Just open your eyes a little bit wider. When we're kind of on a path that we don't particularly want to be on, but we've narrowed our vision, and we've become quite detail orientated and small focus. So sometimes the biggest shifts start with the smallest step. So how can you allow yourself to maybe have a look through that third eye just a little bit wider? Like, we know we all have responsibilities, and we can't just pack our bags tomorrow and change our lives. But for today, how can you discover new ways of looking at your situation? Because look at these cards here. There's discover and smoke screen. So what is the smoke screen that's in front of you, or that you may be hiding behind? Or what is the smoke screen, or that you thought you've had to play a role in? What is it that what do you know that's not supposed to be there, that you need to clear, that you need to name it, call it, claim it, and then just, find ways to clear that. What can you discover? Even within the smoke screen, there's always information within that smoke screen. So figuring out what it is that you've been using it to protect yourself from. Yeah, you know that energy where it's a role that you've been playing and it's just safer to keep playing it than to actually shift it. But there's definitely answers in that. So maybe it's time to discover them. This card here, it talks about stop breaking agreements. I mean, that could be with yourself. We are all on our soul mission. So have you been trusting yourself with that path? She's chained here. So she's holding herself back, but she's also blinded. So she's not tapping into her intuition like she should be. Again, talking about the third eye, the zebra. Because that's where we get our vision for the future, really. It's where we can start manifesting, tapping into that unlimited source of potential. But she is reaching out for it, so she's ready. So she's almost leaped out of this prison that she may have created for herself, or she feels has been created for her. But she is leaping. She's starting to find her way around. She's trying to reach out for a new way. So now we come down to advice, I guess we could call it, or some sort of remedy to try and move some of that shift, that energy that may not be serving you anymore. And so the Lovers is about a choice, right? So it's about, and you are being guided to make that choice. It's a choice that it's almost time to be made. And so it's also about communication. Has that link between your higher self or spirit or universe, whichever you want to name it as, has there been a break in that communication? It's almost like a standoff here, almost like a vulnerable protected standoff. But it is definitely calling your name to be, for you to consider. So an adventure. Yeah, so what small goal could you be making to embrace this creative vision that you have for yourself? New project. It could be romantic. The Lover's card can be read as a romantic link, or maybe you have been closing yourself off to that. But I definitely feel like it's more of your own life's purpose. I feel like you are being called to put trust in yourself, put trust in the universe, and to be reminded of who you really are. Because this is who we all are. This card reminds me of a small child who's just bouncing in the light of everything possible. Kids have the biggest imagination, and they don't understand about perimeters or limitations or scarcity, or they just imagine it and they play along with it. And that's really what manifesting is, right? It's kind of living in that quantum world where if you dream it, you can bring it into reality. But it's about bringing what you want into reality, because we're constantly bringing stuff into our reality. But is it for the good of your journey? So small steps. What can you take? What can you bring in? What can you decide today is going to lead you into this new path, new journey, new abundance, new trust, new joy and delight. So this card here, Mother, Father, God, is almost just highlighting, I mean, it could be some parental stuff going on there, but it's also about masculine and feminine energies and the union of the universe. You know, when you're in balance, you have access to all of this wisdom because it's coursing all the way through your body anyway. And so you can completely tap into that. So again, deciding what you want to conjure up from that quantum reality and to bring it into your 3D world. Because this is very, very different, right? Like, you look at these two energies, completely bound in this version, chained to responsibilities or old patterns or expectations of yourself or what others have of you, and kind of being blinded by which way is forward. Whereas on this side, she gets it. She gets that looking up or looking within, it's as above as below, it's the same. So as magnificent as this looks, it's all through yourself as well. So you're completely, it's not even about asking, it is your divine right. So again, what energy do you want to be manifesting right now? And the tangible advice here, it seems, is that, you know, it's very hard to live in the quantum world where sometimes humans, we just need tangible realities, right? I get it. So these are the two cards that I think I want to highlight or finish on. Where can you take a small adventure right now to go and find that inner child, that creative vision that you've had for yourself? And how can you make it a small habit? Just for you, it doesn't have to be massive, just has to be a small habit where you get to say to yourself, I am deciding to manifest something for myself, purely for myself, that is aligned with who I really am. And shift it with a very small goal, something that is crazy, something that bends you out of shape a little bit. And stop breaking agreements with yourself or with that mission. Have boundless love, because that's what you want to flip. You know, you want to be able to be reminded of the potential that is out there and bring in that abundance. So yeah, I think that's really all that I can say about that. I mean, obviously you need to take what resonates and then also fit into what it is that you are in search of. But the cards seem to say that, you know, it's just a small habit that you could change, even if it is just stopping to make, not breaking agreements, but making agreements for yourself. And potentially realign that communication with the universe, because you know you're tapped into it. Yeah, all is possible. So thanks for watching.